Good old technical difficulties. Unfortunately, I set my noise gate too high for OBS. I don't really remember why. Uh, oh man. But yeah, the audio in this, at least from my speaking end, is messed up. So yeah, you got that to look forward to. Uh, Thankfully though, I'll try to do what I can to alleviate that as much as I can, and hopefully provide clarity to the garbled mess that is what I tried to say. Hopefully it's not too annoying. Uh, Hopefully it's good enough for you to still enjoy as a video in its own right. So I'll leave you to it. Welcome to Plants vs. Zombies Fusion, Episode 2. Last time we left off starting level 6, completed level 5, uh, and we left off on unlocking the Chomper. So, yeah, no, I'm kidding. This isn't a live recording. Unfortunately, it was way too difficult to actually fix the audio issue. It got maybe 10% of one word and 10% of every sentence, so there was hardly any parts where I was actually speaking, let alone something that could be understood. Which is really unfortunate, because it's 4:12 a.m. right now, and Charlie, why do you record so late? Why do you edit videos so late? I don't know, man. Just, I don't know, okay? Just let me figure this out. I got this. But yeah, it was way too difficult to try and fix. So I decided to just cut out all of the audio. All of it. I just recorded a little bit of the, like, in-game background music. I'll try and sync it up as much as I can, but oh, you know what? I'll try as much as I can to recreate the sounds of this video, since it was, unfortunately... Alright. Here we go. Alright, with a little bit of editing magic, we should have all of the appropriate planting, getting eaten, pea shooter. Oh god. Should have all of the proper sound effects being in place. My own recreations of them. There's probably quite a bit that I'll have to comment on. So, yeah, well, I guess we'll get to everything as we get to everything. Most of the current game is a little bit similar in gameplay. Of course, we're trying out all of the new the chomper combinations, of course, as is evident by the sunflower chomper and the walnut chomper. It takes quite a bit for me to figure it out, but the sunflower chomper digests zombies and returns sun when it's done. The walnut chomper does the same, except for giving sun, it regains its own health. The peanut chomper, once after eating zombies, will spit little pieces of zombie back out and will deal piercing damage. The cherry chomper will cause an explosion after consuming a zombie. I don't think it does anything after digestion, but we'll see. I can't really remember. I recorded this like last night, I think. And the mine chomper will spawn a potato mine in the space in front of it after digesting a zombie. In an attempt to make the editing easier for myself, I've sped up like half of the gameplay of this video, you'll see the little symbol in the top right indicating how fast the speed up is. If it seems like the gameplay has slowed down, it's because I'm using the slow mode. It's not because I decided to resume normal speed for the video. But it is kind of funny how it looks that way. It's almost the same speed. I think it's a little bit slower with slow mode than it is without slow mode, not sped up. But yeah, neat little detail. Our current main strategy for level 6 is mostly cherry gatling, pea shooters, and we've got a defense of chompers in the front in order to insta-kill anything that gets close that our cherry pea shooters can't take out by themselves. We try to fuse, I believe, a sunflower with a sun nut, which is only available in Odyssey mode, because of course it is. But yeah, that's kind of just an effect. There's going to be a lot that we still have to unlock, and a lot that needs to be done, but hopefully you'll stick around for all of it. The current setup is more than enough for the waves of zombies. The most threatening thing are the diamond baghead guys, but they get taken down by the chompers relatively easily. And of course, for the final wave, all it takes is cherry bomb. I didn't do it as efficiently as I could have because I was seeing if you could fuse a cherry with a cherry, but you can't. There aren't many things that you can dual fuse. Only sunflower and pea shooter and walnut. I think that's it. I like seeing the damage totals. Usually, it's interesting to see where the majority of our defense comes in, especially when we see the new unlock coming up. Stay tuned for that. For now, though, as I had said in the original recording of this, I wanted to do a bit of like a lore dump, a reading of specifically what these plants that we unlock does. Which we find in the almanac. We will start with the pea shooter, and I think we'll do one entry after every new plant. Pea shooters are your first line of defense. They shoot peas at attacking zombies. Damage 20 per 1.5 seconds, range single aim. How can a single plant grow and shoot so many peas so quickly? Pea shooter says, hard work, commitment, and a healthy, well-balanced breakfast of sunlight and high-fiber carbon dioxide make it all possible. Cost 100, recharge of 7.5 seconds. And then there's the repeater. Repeater fires 2 peas at a time. Damage 20x2 time every 1.5 seconds. Unlike his bright and cheerful brother, Repeater leads a carefree life until it's time to fight. He secretly mastered the art of double shooting, but kept it hidden from Pea Shooter. I just want him to live happily, without ever needing to learn these battle skills. Fusion recipe, Pea Shooter plus Pea Shooter. And you'll see the Repeater has an index number of 1030. That's the 1030th plant, which is insane. Solar Shooter can fire sun shots that occasionally produce sun. Sun output 20 every 25 seconds. Damage 30 every 1.5 seconds. Special, every third shot drops 5 sun when hitting targets. And I did a little bit of math here to try and figure out what these specifics are for the sun production. And it actually turns out that Sun Shooter is better than, I believe, Twin Sunflower? I think if I remember the math properly. Because it, I guess, just maths that way with the sun dropping per shot. But of course, I obsess over that way too long, trying to find out what exactly the math runs out to, how much sun per second, trying to optimize this, that, and the other. It's better in a way, I guess. But it's also worse in a way. Maybe. I don't even remember at this point. And after cutting out want that bit, we can finally read the lore. Actually, the sunflower behind me is my sister, Solar Shooter explained to everybody. We've been inseparable since birth. She loves producing sun, and I destroy zombies on her behalf. But everyone knows the truth. The cheerful P brother is a total syscon. After all, every zombie that gets near a sister mysteriously ends up vaporized by sunlight. Oh my god, that was so jarring. I forgot about it. I completely forgot. Yeah. I was not expecting the Plants vs. Zombies game to mention syscon. Cherry Shooter fires cherries that deal twice as much damage. Damage 40 every 1.5 seconds. Index number 1001. You think I have red hot anger issues? Me? Ah, you're red and hot. Your whole family is red. Cherry Shooter despised being teased about the color of his head, but the jokes didn't last long. It was just a happy incident. After eating special cherries, Pea Shooter found himself turning red and hot, and surprisingly, he could shoot cherries. Fusion recipe of Pea Shooter plus Cherry Bomb. There's probably something to be said about a Pea Shooter eating cherries. Anyways, Peanut. Peanut fires mini nuts that can pierce an infinite number of zombies. Toughness 4000, that's like the measure of health, and the damage 20 every 1.5 seconds, piercing. No, don't call me ugly, or else... Wait, I'll spray you. Peanut has always struggled with his unique appearance, but he firmly believes that what's inside a plant matters more than how it looks. Seeking guidance, he humbly asks Senior Bowling Nut for advice, and eventually mastered the technique of rolling nuts like bowling balls. Fusion recipe, Pea Shooter plus Walnut. Senior Bowling Nut is a reference to one of the mini-games that I'm sure we'll see later on. Potato Mine, index number 1007. Potato Mine speeds up his attack rate when zombies get near and can even fire before being armed. Damage 30 every 1.5 seconds. Special short plant evades straight firing projectiles. Fusion returns 50 sun. Attacks faster as zombies get closer with a minimum attack interval of 0.5 seconds. Upon exploding, deals 1,800 damage to zombies in a small radius and releases 36 projectiles in all directions. There was some point about me doing the math. 50 sun, if it's like 25 plus 100, 125 for 50 sun, it's like close to a third in terms of refund. Potato Mine might not have eyes, but he has his own special way of sensing zombies. I feel it, he murmured. The zombies are getting closer. 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 Potato Mine's heartbeat quickened and so did his firing speed. Faster, faster, until, with a bang, Potato Mine exploded into a burst of potato-flavored fireworks. Fusion recipe Pea Shooter plus Potato Mine. Chomp Shooter, index number 1011. Chomp Shooter can fire zombie parts down the lane after devouring. Damage, insta-kill, devour, 80 per 3 seconds, zombie part. Digestion time 30 seconds. Spits out rolling zombie parts while chewing that deal 80 damage each and have infinite pierce. Chompers always envied Chomp Shooter's ability to spit out zombie remains, and he's tried to learn the trick more than once. Little did he know, though, that the secret wasn't a special skill, it was just that Chomp Shooter's mouth was slightly deformed, causing bits of zombie to leak out while chewing. Fusion recipe Pea Shooter plus Chomper. And that is all of the almanac entries that we will read for the end of level 6. And there are mechanics in, I guess, a language that I don't understand. But they're mechanics that I don't need to look at, so I quickly got out of there. And we've unlocked the gift. This is what I told you to stay tuned for. The plant gift box can produce all basic plants. Now try putting the plant gift box on this repeater. You've learned how to use the plant gift box. Let's move on to the next step. Pay attention to the Cherry Shooter newspaper zombie on the first row. Defend against his attacks with cherry nuts. As you saw, the present can give us a one-time random basic plant. I don't entirely know what they mean by a basic plant, but it seems like it's along the lines of pea shooters, sunflowers, walnuts, more or less any basic plant. I don't think it can give fusions, is like the main takeaway from that. The translator note is the thing that was sped up over that couldn't quite read, and that basically said to slow down the game or to restart because the tooltips that they give you are important. And you can see very, very quickly, because it's sped up, haha, that we are making quick use of the present. We see that we've had a pea shooter merge with a repeater, or a, what is that called? Three-peater? The one that shoots in 3 lanes. And we've had it merge with a Hypno Nut, we've had it merge with a Doom Shroom, but I quickly decided that that one just wasn't very good because it did not seem to do very much damage, so I shoveled it pretty quickly. But yeah, there's a lot that is possible now with the gift box. There's a lot of new fusions that will be spoiled for us, like here, the Ice Peter, the Ice Pea Shooter slows down zombies and can eventually freeze them with enough slowdown, but we wouldn't see that normally for several waves, for several, probably worlds even. So it's a little bit of a spoiler, and I definitely debated not using it, but I decided it was more worth it to use it for the firepower, even though we haven't really been struggling that much with it. I thought it'd be interesting and fun to use. That way it gives us something to look forward to, hopefully something that we can use more appropriately, something that we can use more consistently in the future. We've had it merge with Garlic, Pea Shooter with Garlic, which produces like a stinky effect every now and then on zombies and can poison them. Hypno Pea Shooter, I believe when it kills a zombie, it will turn it into a... right there, it's right there, like a minion, where it spawns its own creation. These little, like, lantern pea shooters, which are sick. They're my favorite ones. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to the most. They are so cool. They shoot like this little laser beam. And they do like crazy damage. They're really cool. And I forgot that you can merge them. So for the longest time I had this row of Gatling pea shooters, but nothing for the laser guys. And you can change the targeting. I noticed that when you clicked on the lantern guys, it stopped them from firing. So I tried that with everyone else, and you can actually change the toggling, the fire mode for the 3-peater guy. There's a little P like in the middle of his model, and when changed, it will burst from single lane in a burst of, I want to say like 6 Ps to 3 lanes in a burst of 2 per each lane, I believe, and also burst in 1 lane each for all lanes. There was also Marigold that seemed to make our Walnut golden and have a lot more health, and you could spend like coffee beans on it to regenerate its health. But that moved by pretty fast. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't notice that. Anyways, let's get right back into the almanac reading for the sunflower. Sunflower is an index of 1. Sunflowers are essential for you to produce extra sun. Try planting as many as you can. Sun output 25 every 25 seconds, so it's 1 sun to 1 second. Special first production is 4 to 7 seconds after planting. And of course, like a total goober, I did more math and theory crafting about how to get the most out of your sun. The answer is you plant both sunflowers down first and then wait for them to give sun and then merge them. Sunflower can't resist bouncing to the beat. Which beat is that? Why, the life-giving jazzy rhythm of the earth itself, thumping at a frequency only sunflower can hear. Cost of 50, recharge of 7.5 seconds. Twin sunflower. Twin sunflowers give twice as much sun as the normal sunflower. Sun output 25 2 times for every 20 seconds. The twin sunflower are known as sisters, always working behind the scenes rather than on the battlefield's front lines. Their role is to support everyone from the rear, but make no mistake, you must protect them. If they're harmed, many plants will quietly shed tears. Which makes sense, considering how important sun production is. Fusion recipe, sunflower plus sunflower. And because we had already read the solar shooter entry, we will not read it here. Solar bomb. Solar bomb can produce extra sun after exploding zombies. Damage, 1,800, the cremator explosion. Special, produces 25 sun for each zombie killed in the explosion. So, it's obvious. We're pretty cured, aren't we? The two sunflower sisters try to suppress their excitement. The world needs us to save it. Their passion bubbled over as they shouted together, "Flash!" A very odd entry, but full of energy, I suppose. Fusion Cherry Bomb plus Sunflower. Solar Nut. Solar Nut produces sun while protecting your plants, and produces a little burst when cracked. Toughness 4000, damage phases 1333, 2666. Sun output 25 every 15 seconds. Special, produces 25 sun on damage phase transitions. Drops 50 sun on death. Solar Nut always sees himself as an angel, blissfully unaware that the other plants often talk behind his back. You know, if he adds a few black lines, he'd look exactly like a bee. Fusion recipe Sunflower plus Walnut. Solar Mine. Solar Mine produces sun at a fast rate until it explodes into a final burst. Index number 1009. Damage 1800. Sun output 25 every 15 seconds. Special, short plant evades straight firing projectiles. Fusion returns 25 sun, drops 50 sun on explosion. Stop at red lights, slow down at yellow lights, and obey traffic rules. Solar Mine frequently warns zombies, but to the zombies, all they see is the disgusting green hue before them. He clutches his green leaves and pouts, wishing for more sunshine. After all, sunshine is what fuels us all. Fusion recipe Sunflower plus Potato Mine. Solar Chomper, index number 1014. Solar Chomper can produce sun after swallowing zombies. Damage, insta-kill, devour, digestion time 40 seconds. Special, produces 100 sun after swallowing a zombie. Everyone was curious about how Solar Chomper transformed into the zombies it devoured into sunlight, but it always hesitated to share its secret. One day, Sunflower discovered that her plant food content had significantly diminished, revealing the truth. It wasn't actually turning zombies into sunlight. Which I think is saying that it's absorbing plant food from other sunflowers? Or it's stealing it. Presumably one or the other. I'm not entirely sure, even now, what exactly they were trying to say. This is a translation of the original game, which I believe is made in Chinese. But I mean, for the most part, there's not much, I mean, as far as I'm aware, errors in translation. Have you ever thought about putting zombie equipment on plants? Defeat this bucknut zombie by using peas. Be careful not to use cherry bombs and chompers. Now, this, unfortunately, is a level in which there is a tutorial bit that you need to advance before it spawns any more zombies. So, very quickly, I will show you that I sped through this. So, playing this at 1000% speed, which is 10 times, we kind of just get our defense set up. And we probably could have gone even a bit further if we hoarded sun and then dug up all of our sunflowers and then replaced those with pea shooters. But it wasn't really something I thought of at the time because there wasn't really a point. We mostly have the defense like completely figured out. And honestly, we could have started quite a bit sooner. I just chose to actually have a little bit of like symmetry with my defense. And I accidentally pressed the toggle zombie health button, which I believe is W or R, but R doesn't do anything, so I'm not sure why it's listed. Anyways, as you can see with our defense, we kind of just shred the zombies. It's not even really close. There is a little bit of counter synergy even going on. The very red pea shooter that you see does like an explosion after building up a status effect on zombies, and it kind of just takes them out in like a pretty large fashion. But the ice pea shooter slows them, and it doesn't seem like different zombies can have, or the same zombie can have different effects on it at the same time, so it'll cancel it out. It'll be slowed for a little bit, and then the explosion will come through, and it won't be slowed, and then the freeze will come back in, and it's a little bit counterintuitive. but it's mostly fine. And using the present on just flat grass allows you to uh, just get random plants, which is really interesting for figuring out potential future combos. But I'm sure as everybody kind of figured, this was not going to be a very difficult mission. Uh, but we made a watermelon and a bunch of metal walnuts, which you can feed more metal objects into by killing them and then clicking and dragging them over, and it restores their health. And the metal pea shooters knock back. But yeah, as you can see, the little fire guy took care of the wave pretty much single handedly. Really looking forward to unlocking that guy. But yeah, that's all for the uh for this episode, more or less. Teasing off on the tall nut that you will see for next video. Hopefully the index entries were interesting to learn about. And hopefully next video will have a more like cohesive on the spot recording, because man, this one was difficult to reproduce. But hopefully it's worthy of being posted, I suppose. More or less, that's it. Hopefully you like the drawing. As always, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out. And I will see you next time. Bye.